What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel for another week. It's a couple of days out from the hill climb. I want to do a little bit more to the 370. So what we've got is these guys here. So I just designed these yesterday. Okay, and another thing I want to get onto is I want to do a splitter on the front of the 370. So yeah, that's the beginning over there. All right, let's get into it. But yeah, so I originally planned to have the cold air intake passing through the radiator support and in front. I've just run out of time to do it the way I want to do it, and rather than rush it and sort of not do it to the sort of level I want to do it, I just come up with a different sort of, I guess, temporary solution. So what we've got is these guys here. So I just designed these yesterday. Still got one on the printer at the moment. So basically they're just for the airflow sensor. I'll show you, like, got V1 and V2. So that was version 1, which was a test thing with PLA, which obviously melted. Then this is with ABS and ASA. So that one there stepped, I actually stepped it up from 60 ID to 3-inch OD. And then I ran some basic cheap eBay pod filters. So for this weekend, it's forecast for rain, and so I guess intake temperature shouldn't be a major issue. So, but I wanted to make sure the car's definitely breathing properly. So this will go into where this part here would normally go into. So just into the original boot that comes off the throttle body. That's for the airflow sensor, and then it steps up here quite big. So it's stepped up to 100 mil, so I can actually run some really good quality filters, which are these BMC ones. They're the ones I was talking about in my last video. I used to run these on my twin supercharged LS drift car. So yeah, so at least that way I know that I'm not getting restricted from the filters. Put this over like that, and so then this will just go in there like that. So there you go, I'll just get a bit more perspective. So yeah, so that's one thing I just did, as I just designed them up. Printed one last night, I've got another one printing now, and then at least I've got some good quality big filters in the engine bay. All right, so the second print should be finished now. Let's just go and have a check and see if it came out okay. Don't mind the super expensive printing box we've got going on here. I do have plans of making one with a filter. All right, so there we go there. Printed out of ABS. Yep, all looks good. Oh, there we go. So this piece here is just a part of the support, like the build trees there. So that's just to support it as you're printing it. So that just gets discarded. And then yeah, there's another one of the build trees there. Just give me a sec. So that's a bit of the support system there. So this just all snaps off like that. There's one on the inside as well. Okay, there we go. Obviously just under here, I'm not sure if you can see, that's just where the build trees just adhere to it just to hold it. That'll all just, just scrape off with the razor blade. It's got the little countersunk this time for the gasket, which I didn't do on the other ones. Just got to put some little nutserts into here, or some heat certs they're called, or heat inserts. And yeah, that'll do that. That'll be just from the standard intake boot to 100mm filters. Yeah, as I said, just in the meantime until I finishing designing through the radiator support intake system. But yeah, all right, let's go and see if how these fit up and go from there. All right, Yoo. Okay, and another thing I want to get onto is I want to do a splitter on the front of the 370. I just want to, it's for two reasons if I'm being completely honest, partially for looks, but also try and get a little bit more air, a little bit more sort of, pressure on the front wheels. Whether it's a driving technique issue or whether it's, not enough toe. I've definitely got too much camber in the front. I've got 2.5 degrees aside. And for the kind of track that I'm on, you're doing a lot of straight line braking. So and that's where I'm actually having the sort of squirming under brakes on the front end. So yeah, I won't have time to fix the alignment for this weekend. So the plan is to put a splitter on there again, as I said, for function, but as well as form. I'll just show you here. So yeah, that's the beginning over there. That's some Diabond. So it's used quite often in the sign writing industry. So it's an aluminium on both sides with a plastic center. And so what I've done is I've just traced across the bottom here, which is the silhouette of the actual bar itself, looking directly down from on top. And then the lip I want to run around the front. But yeah, so I'm going to get into that as well. All right, let's get into it. I think that looks pretty cool. Obviously, you know, it's not just about the looks, it's about trying to get a bit more air onto the front end. Yeah, to see, isn't it? Because it's all black. Wanted to kind of keep it a bit stealthy. Well, there you go. It's pretty much time now. It's nearly 5 o'clock, so it's time to pack up and get ready for tomorrow morning. Put some new tyres on as well. Another set of the 07A Acroba Pros. Yeah, so let's see how this gear shifting goes with the revised shift knob. Also, yeah, obviously as you can see, the splitter. Yeah, the intakes. Obviously that's still not where I want them. I want them in front of the radiator, but for now I just didn't want to rush it, so I just 3D printed up some steppers so I can run the big one. You know all this anyway. But yeah, let's see how it goes, and yeah, wish me luck. If it doesn't rain, I'm aiming for a 47. If it does rain, well, you know, all bets are off. So just out to have a bit of fun. All right, thanks again for watching along, guys. You know, I really do appreciate it. You know, if you could like and subscribe if you like the content, that would also be great. Obviously it costs nothing. So, but yeah, that's another week of prep for another event. So, you know, just remember to treat people how you'd like to be treated and be good. Thanks, guys. You. Hello.
Be careful, don't bump anything. That is doing a very careful thing there.
Look at some beautiful fishies, darling.
And look in the top.
Wow.
Look,
What's floating in the top?
snail.
A snail?
Yeah, got a snail
Oh,
for
sorry.
flame.